Hey everyone, I'm Mulbre and welcome to my One Life, this time in the world of Age of Empires. No fancy introductions, let's just get straight into the game. Now this one is a bit different, it does have an actual tutorial, so we're going to do that before getting into the campaign.
Age of Empires 2 is about empire building, combat, and conquest. You start from humble beginnings, a small village in the Dark Ages. You explore to expand your borders, conduct trade to boost your economy, and research technologies to grow your civilization into a mighty empire. But there are difficulties too. Cunning enemies and rivals that oppose you, powerful castles to destroy, tyrants to bring down. And if you're skillful and a little lucky, you just might build a wonder of the world and create an empire that will stand the test of time. To learn how empires are built, help our first hero, William Wallace, in his fight against his oppressors.
We are without a leader. The dead King of Scotland has no heir. War creeps in from the south, where Edward Longshanks, the avaricious King of England, has returned from successful campaigns to conquer Wales and France. As Longshanks turns his attention to Scotland, the shadow of fear settles across the Highlands. The English have thousands of Welsh longbowmen, hundreds of knights on horseback, and dozens of siege weapons. We Scottish have a rabble of untrained soldiers who do not even know how to march in a straight line. We must act soon if we have any chance of resistance. We need to forge an army by any means necessary. The English are terrorizing all of Scotland! And it's time for us to fight back. But if we're to defeat them, every one of us will need to learn how to march and fight. Follow the path to the blue flag. First, click the soldier. Good! Now, right-click near the blue flag. Good! Now, move to the next flag. Click the soldier, then right-click near the flag. Excellent! To move to the next flag, you must walk through the black area. Moving into the black area reveals more of the map. The black area represents unexplored territory. That's all there is to it. Now go on to the next flag where you'll meet some allied soldiers. To move all your soldiers at once, click near the units and drag around them. Then, right-click to move them. Try moving your soldiers to the next flag. Did all your units make it to the flag? The road ahead is guarded by an English outpost. Scroll up to the outpost building by moving the mouse to the very top of the screen. Then, click the red outpost. Good! Now, scroll back down until you can see your soldiers again by moving your mouse to the very bottom of the screen. Select your soldiers by clicking near them and dragging a box around them. Following the road to the outpost, it's time to knock it down. Right-click the outpost to attack it. The outpost is destroyed. That should slow the English raids. Keep following the path to the village. Home sweet home. But wait, the English are angry that you destroyed their outpost. They're coming to attack your village. Don't panic. Just click your soldiers and right-click the red English soldiers to attack. Defeat the enemy soldiers and you will have won your first battle. Good job! Now you know how to fight back against the English army. Scotland has soldiers now, if only a few. But if we are to turn back the greed of Edward Longshanks, we will need many more recruits. much more gold in our coffers. These ancient stones and oaks around us will soon be steeped in the blood of clansmen. An army marches on its stomach, or so the old saying goes. My clansmen have been farming and tending sheep for hundreds of years, but gathering enough food to feed an army is a different matter entirely. Without a strong economy, the meager forces that we've cobbled together will collapse again. To support the Scottish army, you'll need to build up your stockpile of resources. To win, gather 50 food, 50 wood, and 50 gold. To gather food from the forage bush, click a villager. Then right-click a forage bush near the blue flag. In the status area at the bottom of the screen, you can see how much food the villager is carrying. The villager continues to gather from the forage bush until he's carrying 10 food. The villager will continue working for you, carrying the food to the town centre. The amount of food you have is shown in the upper left corner of the screen. In addition to your food stockpile, you can see your current wood, gold, and stone stockpiles. The more villagers you have, the faster you can gather resources. Assign your new villagers to gather food.
Fiedige.
Theodige.
Bid fear.
Good! You found some gold. Great! You now have 50 food. To win, also gather 50 wood and 50 gold. To gather wood, click a villager, then right-click a tree.
Fiedige.
If you haven't found any gold yet, search in the unexplored territory. Good job!
Bonage.
You now have enough wood.
Bid fear.
You're well on your way to making a city. Excellent! You now have enough gold. Edward Longshanks, for all his disrepute, has shown military tactics in Wales, England and France to be very effective, if not cruel and ruthless. He's indeed an enemy to be feared. The English sacked the town of Berwick upon Tweed. Would that I could call it a battle, but it was truly more of a massacre. Unless we organize our army, there will be more massacres to follow. I pray we can be ready for Longshanks' coming. In villages throughout the Highlands, there is grim talk of skirmishes between Scotland and England. We lost the city of Dunbar this week. Scottish defenders broke ranks and fled. The English have an army that is larger and better trained. To compete with them, we are going to need new recruits to pick up the spear, sword, or bow. We must remake these shepherds into soldiers. We will need many soldiers to defend our homeland. We'll start by creating villagers. Click your town center, then click the Create Villager button in the lower left corner of the screen. It takes time for a villager to appear. If your town center is selected, you can see the progress in the status area at the bottom of your screen. Good job! The villager has appeared next to your town center. Now, create another village. You need additional housing to support your population. To build a house, click a villager. Good job! Try building another house. Click the Buildings button, click the Build House button, then click where you want to build the house. Each house supports 5 units. The population indicator at the top of the screen shows your current supportable population. Other buildings are made just like houses. Try building a barracks. The barracks is a military building. If more than one villager builds a building, it will go up faster. Barracks complete. Now you can create soldiers. Click the barracks, then click the Create Militia button. Selecting different buildings or units gives you different options in the lower left corner of the screen. That's one militia unit. Create 3 more, and you'll have enough soldiers to protect this area and win the scenario. Click the barracks, and quickly click the Create Militia button 3 more times to make 3 soldiers in a row. Now that you have a few soldiers, you'll be able to defend this area against English attacks.
Bid fear.
Now that we have militias stationed across the border, the English have slowed their raids. But facing Longshanks' army will be another matter. The wicked English king has yet to bring his famous longbows to bear. Our militias could only get us so far. We are going to need more advanced weapons. Rumours creep in from the south of a giant who leads the forces of Scotland, his great sword driving through earth and man and horse alike. If this mythical knight can hold the English advance, it will give us time to develop the arms we need. Even now, our smiths are forging swords and fletchers are making arrows and crossbow bolts. English use very advanced weapons and armor. To win, you will need to advance to the feudal age and repel the English raids. You're going to need to research some technologies of your own to increase the strength of your civilization. For example, researching loom makes your villagers harder to kill. To research loom, click the town center, then click the Research Loom button. Good. Researching technology costs resources, but improves your civilization. While you're researching, you can put your villagers to work and use your military units to explore.
Iskere.
Tall.
New technologies and buildings become available when you advance to a new age. To advance from the Dark Age to the Feudal Age, you need 500 food. Now you have enough food to advance to the Feudal Age. However, you also need 2 buildings from your current age. You already have a barracks, so now have your villagers build a mill. The mill is a drop-off point for food, so build it next to your food source.
Iskere. Bra-bygge.
In addition to gathering food at forage bushes, villagers can herd sheep or hunt deer for food.
Bra-bygge.
Now you can advance from the Dark Age to the Feudal Age. Click your town center, then click the Advance to Feudal Age button. Good! You're on your way to the Feudal Age. To arms! The English are making a sneak attack!
Forward. Forward.
Now that the battle is over, create some extra militia units at the barracks to replenish your forces. Congratulations! Advancing to the next stage is the best way to improve your civilization. Near the minimap at the lower right corner of the screen is the Idle Villager button. Click it and locate villagers who are not currently assigned to a task. Now that you're in the feudal age, you can upgrade your militia to men-at-arms. Click the barracks, then click Upgrade to Men-at-Arms. Upgrading to man-at-arms will change all your militia units to the more powerful men-at-arms. The English are attacking again! Teach them a lesson with your new men-at-arms! The English are no match for you warriors! Longchamps has invaded, stormed, and sacked the city of Perth. It's worse. He's captured the fabled Stone of Scone and declared himself King of Scotland. If we cannot bring about a victory in battle soon, then the Scottish armies will be too demoralized to put up any fight at all. If this mythical Scottish giant does exist, I wish he'd get his forces up to Stirling, where we shall next do battle. The time for minor skirmishes is over. We now prepare for war. The villain Longchamps is poised to cross the River Forth and threaten the town of Stirling with a force of men-at-arms, heavy cavalry, and a multitude of archers. Our newly formed army marches southward to establish our own base and attack the English before they can ready their troops. The time has come to take the offensive.
Forgere.
The English have a fort near the town of Stirling. If we can defeat the English here, they may think twice about their invasion of Scotland. To win, destroy the English tower to the west. Scout cavalry are poor fighters, but they can see a great distance. You can use your scout cavalry to explore the rest of the map and find the English. Before we attack the English to the west, we need to build up our forces. Have your villagers start gathering food and wood. You found some sheep. Sheep are a good source of food, so send them back to your town centre and assign a villager to gather food from them. You can specify a location for new units to gather by selecting a gather point. For villagers, click the town centre and click the Set Gather Point button. Keep making villagers at your town centre until you have 10. The more villagers you have, the faster your resources will come in. The hill with the dead tree protects the only access to your town. It would be a good idea to build a watchtower on this hill once you advance to the feudal age.
Rabøye.
You can gain more food by building fishing ships. To create fishing ships, have your villagers build a dock in the water to the south.
Rabøye.
Click the dock and build a fishing ship. To fish, click a fishing ship and right-click on a leaping fish. The fishing ship will collect fish and automatically return them to the dock. Fishing ships are also useful for exploring.
Kid.
Build a barracks and 5 militia to defend your villagers and explore the map. You're close to an English base. You better not knock down this wall until you've got an army of about 12 soldiers.
Forgere. Rabøye.
Villagers can also build farms. Build 4 farms near your mill when your forage bushes are depleted. Each farm needs only 1 villager working on it.
Forgere. Rabøye.
Rabøye.
Once you've gathered 500 food, advance to the feudal age at your town centre. If you're low on food, build some additional farms. The English are coming to attack!
Bunid.
To protect your villagers, you can use the town bell to garrison them in your town centre. Click your town centre, then click town bell. Good! You defeated the English assault. If you have villagers in your town centre, ring the town bell again to send them back to work. Now that you've reached the feudal age, concentrate on making some soldiers to fight the enemy. You will need at least 12. Remember, you can upgrade your militia to men-at-arms at the barracks. You should always upgrade soldiers when you can afford it. Remember to upgrade your weapons and arms at the blacksmith. You do have a blacksmith, don't you? Now you have a large enough force to attack the English base. Charge! Keep your villagers working just in case you suffer casualties and need to make more troops.
Работе.
To. Forward. To. Done cut. To. To. Bid fear. To. To. Bid fear.
Good job! You've eliminated the English soldiers. Now destroy that tower and our victory will be complete.
Done cut.
Great job! You've destroyed the English camp. The Battle of Stirling is sure to end in victory for the Scots. Now that you know how to build up, advance through the ages, and find and fight your enemies, you have all the basic skills you need to play a random map game, the most common type of game in Age of Empires.
Kogo! Kogo!
Stirling was our first great victory. Even as we held the coastline, word came in that the Stirling Bridge had been held by a force of Scots led by the mythical knight, of whom so many have spoken. Now we know his name. Sir William Wallace, the Hammer of the English. Edward Longshanks names Wallace a traitor and a criminal, but Sir William replies that he cannot be a traitor, since he never swore fealty to an English king. With Wallace leading our armies, the men fight with renewed vigor. Perhaps the tide of our misfortunes is about to turn. Our coffers were depleted at the Battle of Stirling, so we need to strengthen our economy once again before pushing south into lands held by the English. We need to construct a market and establish trade routes to the villages of friendly clans. Local legends speak of 3 sacred relics hidden south of Stirling. Acquiring these artifacts for Wallace's army will be a great boost to Scottish morale. The Scottish army has been rallied by recent victories against the English. The situation's starting to look up. Did you know that there are 3 different modes for the minimap in the lower right corner of the screen? You can show only military units or only
Soldier.
resources and trade units
Пробуй
by
я.
clicking the buttons just below and to the right of the minimap. It will help the morale of our army to collect holy relics and place them in our monastery. One of the relics is close to your town. An ally has another relic, and the English have captured a third. You can retrieve a relic by clicking a monk and right-clicking the relic. Monks have other abilities as well. They can heal your injured soldiers or those of your allies. They can also attempt to convert enemy soldiers to join your army. Good! You have a relic. Protect the relic in the monastery by right-clicking the monastery. Perfect. You now have one relic garrisoned. Relics garrisoned in your monastery will slowly add gold to your stockpile. Farms are a good source of food once you've exhausted forage bushes and animals. Farms are built like buildings and must be periodically rebuilt. To gather food from a farm, click a villager, then right-click a farm. You have a market. The market can create trade carts to generate extra gold. You can also exchange one resource for another at the market for a small fee. Click the market, then click Sell Food for Gold. Villagers and soldiers normally appear outside of the building that created them. You can have your units move to a spot once they're created by using gather points. To set a gather point for infantry, click your barracks, click Set Gather Point, then click where on the map you want your infantry to gather. You have enough soldiers now to think about attacking the English and recovering their relic.
I like the faith the narrator has in me that I have enough soldiers to do that.
Bid
But hey
fear.
everyone, I'm back after about 20 minutes of gameplay. There's not a whole lot of gaps in this tutorial to do talking, which is cool.
You've reached your ally's town. Go inside and see how his city's doing. Your ally's gate will open automatically for you. You can use the technology tree to see what technologies and upgrades you can research. Click the technology tree button in the upper right corner of the screen to see the tree for your civilization.
Welcome. If you've come for the relic, you can find it on the hill to the northeast of our town. If you're getting ready to attack the English, I can help you out. Here, take this food and wood.
Yay, food and wood. So I truly do love this game. I have fond memories playing it. It was something my father played with us and all of his children. We'd get the whole family together and we'd all sit there and we'd play either PvP or PvE. And one time I remember was like the one time I actually beat my dad at this game. I had my main army and I actually split my army in half. And I went around to the back of my father's army and like came at him from two fronts. And that was like the one time I won. And that was like a huge moment for me. And ever since, it never happened twice. Once he found out that I was capable of that kind of strategy, he done shut that down fast.
Bid fear.
But it's a great game. And I really love the graphics for this game. Like this was absolutely outstanding graphics. Like, you know, you look at this kind of stuff and there's details of leaves and moss being stuck to the horse barn. And you can see the textures of the thatching and the layering of the roofing. And you can even see the little circles on the archery targets. And all the little soldiers and what they do. And when I was looking at Steam, I believe this said this was a 2013 game, but this is the HD edition. And I do recall, I am fairly positive that this is much older than that. I do not recall like the actual year this game was created, but it is definitely older than 2013. Because that would have made me well into my teenage years playing this. And I remember playing it when I was not in my teenage years. Like I was fairly young when I first started playing this game. So all in all, I just thought it would be fun to play the tutorial of this game before actually hitting the campaigns of this game. Just so that way we can kind of get that old school flavor, that old school feeling. And also because I've never actually done the tutorial. At least to what I can remember, I don't remember actually doing the tutorial. I very much went from not knowing how to play at all to just playing with my parents and having my dad teach me how to play through trial and error. I know we did have opportunities to kind of play on our own and doing kind of campaign, but I never got past like the first I don't even think I ever finished the first campaign, because I think the very first one is Joan of Arc, and I've never finished it. I always end up losing and getting my NPC killed, but hopefully now that we've done the tutorial, I can do that campaign here. And I do believe they're fully voiced with the storylines just like this one. So that'll be very exciting to get into. I am hoping to do all of them. I think since normally with my One Life stuff, I try not to do games more than once, especially after dying the first time. However, I think I will give each campaign a try because each campaign features a different sort of leader. So as long as I'm doing a different leader, I'll just throw it all under the One Life category.
Congratulations!
And we'll go from there.
You've captured
Hopefully
all
we'll get
3
all of those,
relics.
and I will actually survive.
With the 3 relics
Yay,
now
relics.
locked away safely in
And
Scottish
there is going to be one more campaign
men
after this.
murmur that we are blessed by the heavens. Our army now stands a chance as we prepare for the final clash with the English. Scotland now has archers and knights of our own with which to meet Longshanks. We march south to Falkirk, where we will rendezvous with the army of William Wallace and plan our combined attack upon the English castle. The only way we can hold the boggy lowlands around Falkirk is to build a castle and as many walls as we can construct in a short time. These fortifications will serve to protect our camp as we construct siege weapons with which to assault the English castle. Once the castle is constructed, Wallace himself has sworn to join our forces, and together we will attack Longshanks and his English troops.
Ooh. There's some stuff on the screen if you guys want to pause and read all of that real quick. I am not going to read it out loud because I don't have it on screen long enough.
The English could attack at any time. You have some walls already, but you should complete them as soon as you have enough stone.
Mulbre. Treba. Kid. Treba.
If you have surplus resources of one type, you can sell them for gold at your market. You can then use the gold to buy what you need.
So for this is just kind of bringing all the skills I've gotten all together to try and take that castle and see how long we can survive. And it is kind of interesting because we do already have sentry towers like we just saw there. And our opponent is going to start knocking out those towers one by one, slowly working their way up the map. But we do have some nice pretty horses. I love the horses.
You can also build towers to defend your city. Units can garrison within a tower for defense and protection, and archers can even fire out of a tower.
The way that the horses move, and they're just so wonderfully made. There we go, got some wall building going.
The advanced buttons let you set combat states for your soldiers. A defensive soldier will be less likely to attack an enemy that comes near him. Click a military unit, then note the combat stance buttons on the lower left corner of the screen. Using the advanced buttons, you can also order a soldier to patrol an area between 2 points and guard or follow another unit.
Yes, they just have a few different combat stances. I typically just stick with the very first option. I'm not a big fan of the other ones.
Rabuga.
The advanced buttons allow access to a new type of formation. For example, With a box formation, you can protect the weak unit, such as a monk.
But as I was saying, you guys, they will get to see a little bit on screen, that formation, but ultimately I don't keep it. I don't really use them. I understand the purpose, but in execution, it just really doesn't matter.
Kid. Rabuga.
That's also coming from somebody who's only managed to beat her father at this game once. So, I mean, really take my advice with a grain of salt. I try here. I try. Yeah, this game just makes me think of like modern day graphics and how really gamers like me, I'm at the point where I don't really care about graphics. I just want good story. You know, I absolutely love The Witcher, and I absolutely love Kingdom Come Deliverance. Oh my gosh, is this game why I love Kingdom Come Deliverance so much? It's medieval. I love medieval. All my life I've been all about medieval history. Oh my goodness, it's this game's fault. I'm just discovering my own personal, like, growth and a life story, and this game is at fault. But anyways, I love Witcher and Kingdom Come and those kinds of games. And they have really good graphics, and they did a really good job optimizing their games for people's computers. But then you get games like Ark, and Ark is so buggy, and I want to love Ark, but it's like the graphics are great, but the game is just basically unplayable. And I've got a really decent computer, and I can't play Ark. And a lot of games these days, it's like, yeah, it looks really pretty, but can my computer run it, and does it have a good story? If it doesn't have a good story, then I'm just not interested anymore. Oh, look, my opponent's got a little siege. Look at that little siege go. Little battering ram doing a heckin' battering. Isn't that precious? Now, the little flag means that there are soldiers inside. So soldiers will... Yep, there, and there's a little spearman. And no, I do not repair that wall. So if anybody's hoping that I'm going to repair that wall, I don't.
Good job. With your new siege workshop, you can make battering rams. Rams are slow, but they're resistant to arrow fire and excellent at knocking down walls. You may need some rams to attack.
So just avert your eyes. Avoid looking at the gap in my walls. But I do build a couple siege weapons, just a couple battering rams. They are pretty resource intensive, but I do eventually run into a problem where I have too many NPCs, and I tried to build more houses, only to realize...
You may need to assign extra villagers to gather stones so you'll have enough to build the castle and all the fortifications you'll need.
I can't remember what I was talking about. I'm watching this while doing the voiceover, and I'm just kind of like, my sister had commentary pop up on the screen, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. I think it told me to build my own castle. Did it tell me to build my own castle? I don't think I built my own castle. But we will destroy a castle. Oh, which, by the way, if any of you are watching this and have made it to this point, I have a book recommendation. I think you will absolutely love this book if you like this game. And it's called Lord of Blackthorn. It's made by a content creator here on YouTube. I cannot remember his name, but if you look up Lord of Blackthorn on Audible, which is the platform I use because I'm a truck driver and I listen to audiobooks, and I just thought it was a really wonderful series. It's supposed to be a series. Right now it's just one book, but it is about a young knight who gets his own little... Oh, what's the term? He gets a castle. He becomes a lord. He's a knight that becomes a lord. So a lordum? I don't remember. I'm not the greatest with words, but he gets his own little castle and his own little community, and he's got to build it up. And it's a nice mix of hinting towards magic, but not really including magic. You know, it does a really good job of portraying how these people thought and felt and viewed the world, and it's got a lot of historically accurate moments and some really great characters. There's actually one character in that book. Jack. I won't say anything else, but his name's Jack. And he is identical to one of my coworkers. And it was just the funniest thing ever when this character was first introduced. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is just like one of my coworkers. I thought that was really fun. If you read it, you'll know. And you'll be like, oh my gosh. I've never spoken about this coworker before, but yeah, he gets on the radio and it is just great. He's a really wonderful guy, but he's got a bit of a personality. Just okay. He's got enough personality for the rest of us who don't really have personality. I can be pretty boring, but so far so good. Making good progress. Just took down that gate. I started working my way through various buildings just to kind of see if they were going to have the AI or NPC or my opponent making more enemies, but I don't. Eventually I'll decide that they're just not going to make any more and I'll head towards the castle, but for now. Which, pro tip, you need a villager to repair the battering rams. They can't be done with a monk, it has to be a villager. There we go, there's the town center. Get rid of that, get rid of their ability to make villagers, which, as long as there's even just one villager alive, they can make a new town center. So you always have to make sure to take out their villagers. So, tactic, by the way, if you feel like you're losing but you're not ready to give up, make sure you get at least one villager out of the way. And hope that your opponent doesn't have spies. Because spies is an upgrade that, it's a very expensive upgrade, but it is an upgrade that allows you to view the world through your opponent's villagers. So, but if you hide one away and hope that they don't have that upgrade, you can always start again in the middle of nowhere. But now we're going to start taking out the castle, and there it goes.
The English castle at Falkirk is no more. The English pretensions in Scotland are surely at an end. The forces of Wallace are triumphant. It looks certain that we will
And
be
that's
defeated at
that.
Falkirk. Yet,
So that was good.
somehow, though outnumbered and outranged by English longbows, we were victorious! English castle was torn down, and a Scottish one will be built in its place. William Wallace has shown us the path to victory. Although he's but one man, he inspires great deeds in others, and many of the Scottish princes and lords have drawn their swords with his. Wallace's own sword is a 5.5-foot beast, forged, of course, in Scotland. He has sworn not to rest until his sword finds the neck of Edward Longshanks. The struggle will continue, but we have learned the ways of war. Now, it is the English who will know fear.
I like that last little beat at the end. So that was, I enjoyed that. It was fun watching that little tutorial. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, have a positive day, everybody. Bye-bye.